Thank you and good morning. Well, first of all, I will shift gears a little bit with this presentation and add a little bit of complexity, which always comes when you deal with telco operators and a little bit of legacy industry. So, but for some of you that are not familiar with Apigate, I'll give a little bit of introduction and then move into something which we feel is very exciting. It's Malaysia-born. It's something that has an opportunity to participate in a conversation that was happening over the last day and a half, I guess, which is all about advancing the Southeast Asia billion-dollar idea, and I think Apigate is right in the middle of it, and I will explain why. So, very quick introduction. What was originally set up as an internal business unit of a large telco group in Southeast Asia has now become an independent company with an ability to serve not just your parent original set of operators, but also a set of ecosystem on a larger global scale. And we're very excited that we have an opportunity to do so. We're excited that there's recognition behind the business model that we have put together, and that this has an opportunity to first obviously serve Southeast Asia, but then also the globe. The theme is going to go along the line of what has been the challenge in working with mobile operators in order to digitize and monetize some of the digital startups and some of the digital companies that we have seen here today and over actually years right now that are engaging with operators, gaming, entertainment, music, and so forth. And it is that we have a blurred vision for quite some time. The agenda of the CEOs in some of the legacy companies has been distracted and has been limited to the roles that they play. CEO is all about growth, and you know, if you don't deliver growth in 3 years, you're out of job. The CMO has probably an opportunity to make one mistake in a bad campaign or in a bad choice before attrition starts. And then he's going to be out of his role and so forth. So there's a lot of misalignment of what you need to do in order to actually get ready of what was coming to the mobile operators and anybody that wanted to make themselves available and have a relationship with digital set of companies. And that's why we had an opportunity that were built out of a operator setup and got out of it and had said that we need to move the conversation for this digital transformation and everything that's happening in a mobile space into monetization. The time is going to pass, and if everybody still believes, and here's the evidence where some of our executives that we talked to, this is not related just to Malaysia, a little bit beyond Malaysia, things they still have time to invest in digital platforms and get their business ready in order to participate in a digital ecosystem. We say it's 2 years too late, and if you are not monetizing now, the train is going to leave the station and it's going to be so fast on its tracks that you will never be able to catch up. And I think this is the message that we're bringing back into this whole ecosystem between mobile operators and the entire digital ecosystem in order for this to bridge. What was missing? It was missing a company or a platform or a business model that can actually resolve this journey to nowhere. And I call this journey to nowhere because if you just look at this, you have a set of operators, some more advanced, some less, that wanted to digitize or are going to digital transformation, and they think that the world is going to wait at the speed that they are doing. At the same time, there's a lot of layers that has been created in between us that are consuming some of the entertainment that you see on the top chart, meaning games, music, entertainment, fintech, wallets, everything else that's kind of appearing on top. But actually, it's very difficult for these companies to have a relationship with us on our mobile phones that are connected down to operators. Why? Because you have very non-specific technology in between that's not built for telco. You have a lot of fragmented API layers that are trying to be somewhere in between and making it very complicated for anybody else to connect. You have a lot of point solutions that are also happening in a process that everybody on top of this value chain needs to now get ready to integrate, to have an engineering team, to need to blow up its IT budget, to wait at a time when the operators are going to be ready to integrate you, and so forth and so on. So before actually you see a dollar, you're going to be in this amazing maze, and I don't think there's a lot of time left for people to be involved in a maze, and we are fortunate that we have understood what are some of the frictions that are happening in this process here, and we have managed to build a platform to start with, an ecosystem that has accepted what a platform can do, and then obviously a company that is able to resolve this maze and actually have a simple solution. And I'll show it to you at the very last slide how this actually looks like. But what was the driver of this? And I'll take an example. I'll take an example of gaming so that we can draw a little bit of a parallel to not just gaming as a specific industry, but also OTTs, video, and everybody else that we have seen on the stage and off stage in the last couple of days. Is that if you look at this industry, which was actually very small only 5-6 years ago, it's $100 billion industry, and especially in mobile in the next few years. Now, the big problem with this is, especially if you're coming from legacy, is that you think that you can treat a gaming company like Havas, that you can treat a gaming a corporation as something that you've treated your wallpaper or your ringtone in the past. Some of these entities in their own value are larger than a combined value set of operators in a country. So they're bigger than what we think they are, and we cannot treat them anymore as what we did in the past. Look what's going to happen. The entertainment obviously is moved to one specific screen only, and it is a mobile screen. So unless we understand this and start to create strategies and evolve our platforms and technologies and business models to understand that the experience that needs to be resolved on this screen, it has priority, there's going to be still a lot of friction happening in order for anybody in the digital ecosystem to monetize it with its operators. So what we have done is obviously understood this, and here's another example why you want to treat many of either gaming companies, video and entertainment with respect and with the speed that they desire, because look how they have grown. Where the value is being created today is obviously in that industry, and we need to treat them differently. Now, how do we do this, and which platforms are out there that have resolved some of these, are out there helping? And we have moved our conversation not just with mobile operators that are obviously serving us with our phones and our packages, but also in bringing the conversation from something that is kind of 1995 of let's just get into the room and agree on a revenue share, to actually understand what the real issue here is and what the conversation needs to be. It needs to be more about revenue maximization. What do we all need to do, and what kind of business model needs to be in place so that actually we maximize the revenue, especially for the mobile operators that are struggling to do so, while at the same time letting these digital companies grow and don't get them in a room for 5 months negotiating 1%, 2% revenue share or something like this. But agree on what is really that has to happen. It is that if you have made 10 million in gaming last year, and your target as a mobile operator is to monetize 20 million this year, let's just focus on the differential of 10 million, not about who's going to make an extra % or two, because by the time we agree on what it is, the game is past. Also, another set of frictions and experiences that our digital partners are experiencing, those on very top, correct? First one, they spend a lot of time negotiating these revenue shares, which is waste of time. Second one is finding the right solution on a set of, or a platform or a vendor of some sort that helps them in acquisition and conversion. And this is very nicely linked with the next conversation, which is the real authentication of tomorrow. And today, there isn't a single platform yet that has managed to actually address the first two topics, and now here's the third one. And these two are very linked, because I'll give you an example. what do we mean by fake account versus one-click authentication, which is real? Today, half of you, me included, are playing games or even connecting to iFlix with Facebook Connect, correct, with a Facebook login. I actually play games with my dog's Facebook account. I have a golden retriever. My golden retriever has a Facebook, and I use that account to play games. Now, why is this important to understand what is happening here? Every game that I've played or every movie that I've watched on any of the OTT platforms to this logging, that company has spent marketing money on my dog's newsfeed. That's very, very dumb marketing money spent. And very soon, somebody will need to have another conversation with the chief marketing officer and the chief financial officer to say, is this the right way to start to authenticate and identify who your real users are? So again, we have managed to solve this, and obviously through a platform, we are moving from this conversation that now there's actually an ability to authenticate, are you really who you say you are, and actually even monetize and actually create additional value for operators. Also, having an ability to provide to our digital partners on the top a variety of monetization methods, not just direct carrier billing and charging it to your phone bill, but also having a variety of wallets, vouchers, even lending available so that somebody who has started an experience watching a game, watching a video, highlights, or maybe even listening to music while he's stuck in traffic in Jakarta, in a bus or somewhere, that experience does not stop. And if you can, in real time, credit score somebody and say he's been a loyal customer on iFlix for the last 6 months or 10 months or so forth, and he's been the same operator for 7 years on the same mobile number and maybe with the same, and he tops up his prepaid card every 2 weeks, maybe it's worth lending him an extra 50 cents or $1 so that he completes what he just started. Wouldn't it be an awesome experience and something that actually that person will really appreciate, and it will actually seem like that the brand, the game, or OTT has actually lended him that experience so that he can actually finish that. So it's something that hasn't happened yet. It's something that is very rare to see, and if it does, it's kind of siloed and it's done by many different vendors, and it's very complicated to execute. And then also this whole concept of fraud and refunds. There's a lot of it in entertainment, in apps, in gaming, in aggregation, and so forth. And again, the whole idea is, has there been a platform, is there a company today that actually solves this? Well, there is. We have managed to understand all these frictions that are happening at that level on top, where you want to find the right customer at the right time for your digital partners, so that they don't have to integrate 5 times, 6 times into 6 different platforms, 6 different vendors, 6 different IT teams and specs, while at the same time, on the bottom of a platform, which as you can see, it's a two-sided business model, you actually start to increase revenue and add some more value to the mobile network operators, and obviously to the subscribers that they have. So this is something that again, it all started not from building a tech, and this is an open source. It's something that is not actually rocket science, but it takes a little bit of time to understand who really the customers of your customers are, what are the experiences that they're going through, and what are the frictions that they're actually having, and they will be helpful to resolve. This today allows Apigate to actually have conversations with some of the giant brands that you actually see on top of this chart, and to win business, because you come across as a platform that actually understands the issue. You come across as a platform that understands how to resolve the issue, not in a mind of just making profit, but also with the mindset of removing friction and increasing that experience that everybody is craving for. Because we as users and as consumers, we obviously don't care what this platform is called, on what technology is built, and we don't care what's behind it. We only care about the actual experience that is instant and that is something that's rewarding. So based on that, we have managed to build this proposition. So there is no more maze, there is no more a journey to nowhere, and I'm quite happy that we had an opportunity to build this out of Malaysia. Very quick example how this works. Here's a gaming company that can plug in one integration, one contract, and access to entire ecosystem. And they can say, well, thanks, Zoran, I don't need your acquisition API, but I would like to authenticate smartly, use all your payment channels, and eventually maybe do some lending through you. Or another company might say, well, thanks a lot, I'm happy with everything else I have, but I really never thought that I need to block fraud and maybe do something else. So that's currently what we are spending our time on, and yesterday was a very interesting conversation of where the new and the next unicorn will come from, where here it is. This is probably the one that Malaysia can be proud of in the next couple of years to come. So thank you very much for your time.